on 31st? Seems to me there's quite...
Is from 30 to Oka all the way out here, and then from down and here.
Right. So it's going to pick it up on
We'll
the
pick it up
corner of
here.
31st and Okanagan.
Yeah, and just pick it right up on the corner and prevent any water then draining down here.
I kind of thought from the little thing that's moving around, it was down at the bottom there on that. Okay.
Anything further, Council? Councilor Hitzen?
Just one comment, Your Worship. I understand that the developer will be putting in curb and gutter and sidewalks. My one concern is that coming up to 30th Street on the portion that sort of borders either the Public Works Yard or lots 1 and 2 on Okanagan Avenue East, on the east side of 30th Street, that in that short stretch we don't have any sidewalk to connect to the sidewalks on 30th and then crossing over to Okanagan on the other side. So I'm just got a question in terms of, is there a plan within the city to make sure that sidewalks put in on that short part of Okanagan Avenue East to ensure that there's an ability, particularly if amongst the amenities in that development is for something like, let's say somebody with a wheelchair or something, that there's a way that they can safely move to the sidewalks on 30th and Okanagan without having to just roll on the road?
Your Worship, with these ones, we tend to wait to make sure that it all proceeds, and then when it proceeds in the following year, we'll follow up with a budget submission for council consideration
To tie it in.
to tie the sidewalk into the issue.
Okay, thank you. That's just what I wanted to check on.
Councilor Harrison?
Sorry, Your Worship. First of all, I think that the density change there is, I'm supportive of that, going from R1 to R4. I'm worried that at a public hearing, the residents who live down below that area are not going to be informed and are going to come to the public hearing really worried about the stormwater, because in their letter, that's one of the particular things they reference to. So I'm wondering if Mr. Franklin has had an opportunity to talk to the people who live on First Avenue, because I think that might be an important thing to do before a public hearing. Can I ask that question, or at least advise?
Yeah, just to reply to that. Sure. Did you understand the question?
Yes, I did. Councilman, Mayor. I would like specifically, I have talked to most of the neighbors. It would be nice to be given a direction if you let what amount of people you'd like me to speak to. I'm Mr. Vatzlaff. Mr. Franklin has got some, when I've been working up north, he started this process for me. So could we put that map back on? Just
I can certainly give you my opinion.
okay, everyone in the yellow area below this is the ones that most of who have paid me before the public, so they're aware. Is that?
First of all, I think that's great that you've done that. I think that's a start. Have you seen the letter from the residents of First Avenue regarding drainage?
I am aware of what, 22, side 11, to the south of 11. He has a real issue there. There was some pavement that happened on lot 8 that added to the whole problem. And I can understand, he sees there's development up top, and it's only going to add more to the situation in his mind. I'm confident that if it is like Dale was speaking about the catch basin at the ST on 31st Avenue, that even though it is lower, there's still enough drop to bring it across and tie it into the storm main that ends halfway up to lot 2. We've looked at all that because, of course, developing it, that's a big expense. Can it be done? So I think we can address those issues.
Yeah. What my advice would be, and I think you've got a good start on it, is to get a copy of the letter, and there's sort of like a petition, actually.
Sure.
Petitioning council
Yep.
for money. And then that would give you a good idea about which residents you might want to visit. It probably will just make things run better at the hearing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
Councilor Finn?
Thank you. CP, this is medium density, so I'm in phase zoning. Again, all the amenities that we talk about that make sense for a higher density, with the park, with the tennis courts, with the schools. So I'm in favor, and it looks like, not that they'll be, everybody's definition of affordable is different, but it looks like based on the size, there will be reasonably priced properties, so I'm in favor. And I agree that there is about the storm sewer, and that this isn't going to negatively impact an already less than ideal situation is important for the developer before the public hearing.
Councillor Bison?
Thank you, Your Worship. I agree that we have to look at the storms. We can talk about density and all the reasons why it's good, but this development isn't going to necessarily add precipitation to the region. And I think by putting in a storm sewer that isn't there now, it will decrease the amount of water, perhaps alleviate some of the situation on first, if that's one of the things. And the catch basin should help to relieve some of that pressure, maybe on lot 22. Also, if there's a possibility, I remember the last thing, to maintain or keep some of the trees on the, also a great, I guess, sucker. That's getting back. The tree is the great sucker up of water. Can't wait to write my first quote about it. No, so I think we're going to be okay, and I'll move this forward to public hearing. Thank you.
All in favor? Motion's carried. Next, 5.3. Motion.
Moved by Councillor Hodgson, second by Councillor Idzon, that the bylaw entitled Fee-for-Service Amendment Bylaw Number 3653 read by the first, second, and third time.
Manager, Financial Services.
Thank you, Your Worship. The purpose of the fee-for-service amendment is to establish a latecomer agreement processing fee to recover the cost from a developer for staff time required to research and prepare the latecomer agreement and to collect and remit future latecomer payments from benefited properties down the line over the life of the agreement. A review of other communities, their fee structures. There are various fee structures out there. Some strictly a flat rate fee, some a flat rate fee plus a variable cost per parcel, and some a flat rate fee plus a variable cost per service. At this time, we're bringing forward a proposal for a fee structure including a flat rate fee of $500 plus a $100 flat rate fee per parcel to reflect the size of the development more closely.
Thank you. Councillor Andrew.
How many, you told us this, I think, at our planning meeting, but how many developments would this have affected over the last year or two? Seems to be many.
Your Worship, we've only had the one, and that's the Rickon Island subdivision with the water main extension in the last 2 years.
What did he have to pay? Is it,
Anything, because there's nothing in the fee-for-service bylaw.
okay. Well, I'm going to stay consistent, and I think sometimes, I know there's a cost attached, but how much cost do you really want to pass on? I'm just every day looking at how few lots there are, and it's something that every single cost increases, and I just think that maybe it's one thing that for the time being, when things are so crucial now with very little ability to even find a lot, it's just putting more pressure on people who want to have a home.
Councillor Flynn.
Yeah, using the Nyland property as an example, the $500 flat fee plus, he would pay based on every $100 on each of the lots that he developed. How this is working? Or would work? If that.
Your Worship, what he would pay is for each lot that's in the latecomer agreement. So only the ones that are benefiting is what he would pay, which I believe there were 14.
It was 14, so he would have paid potentially $1,900 in this case. I don't think that's going to decide whether another developer goes forward, and I think our staff doing it for nothing isn't probably fair. So $100 a lot isn't really a big part of the lot cost. So
Our staff wouldn't be doing it, our taxpayer would be picking up the bill.